All right, we all know someone who's been in an office romance, and yes, I'll confess, I met my husband here at Denver 7.
I met my wife, not here, but at work as well. But in this Me Too era, are workplace relationships a good idea?
Denver 7's Russell Haythorne is going 360 on coworker hookups.
If it's true, nothing brings people together like good food. It's only fitting that the restaurant business is ripe for romance.
Restaurants are very ripe for it. I mean, you've got a lot of young people working in close proximity.
Bartender Matthew Lombardo stumbled upon love at work.
The two go hand in hand.
That girl was Stephanie Young.
We started flirting and
One thing led to another. So what about dating in the workplace? Is it ever okay?
Maybe in a movie. If you're a flighty person, you probably shouldn't have an office relationship because you're stuck with that person.
With the low chance of it actually working out.
We're going 360 on the office romance, talking to those who say it can work, those who say tread lightly, a workplace attorney, a relationship expert, and others.
Just enough to tide you over until I get the other bottle over.
We start with Matthew, who says it worked for him
You get to know somebody, as a person a little bit more in depth.
until it didn't.
anyone around that time knows that Matt broke up with me.
There is such a thing as working too closely together.
That brings us to Lori Ray with the Employers Council of Denver.
When it comes to relationships, you have the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Let's start with the good.
A lot of people do fall in love in the workplace, and that's a wonderful thing.
In those cases, Ray says be wise. If things start heating up, cool it.
While your colleagues might be happy for you, they're not that happy for you. They really want you to keep that under control.
She describes the bad as when things go south.
I one time was working with someone and she was on the phone shouting.
In those cases, both the employee and employer must manage the situation, like separating the two.
So one person just moved to another part of the building.
And then there's the ugly.
The ugly is when one person is insisting on some sort of contact that the other person really doesn't want.
Any kind of harassment could spell big trouble for both the employee and employer.
And they need to take it immediate action. Sometimes people don't know how to say, I don't want to spend time with you, and so they might make excuses.
Experts say take a hint and buzz off, or you could jeopardize your job or worse. That's why some, like Maria, say just don't go there.
I think they're a horrible idea. Not worth it.
Relationship expert and dating coach Dr. Lisa Marie Bobby says those relationships can be fraught with risks and pitfalls.
And this is particularly pronounced when there is a power imbalance in the relationship, as there so frequently is in professional environments.
But she says it can work.
Many of these relationships can work out because there's a foundation of respect and camaraderie.
And that brings us back to Matthew and Stephanie,
We decided that we wanted to make it work, and
who 10 years later
Yay, super fast.
are happily married
Now you gotta go straight back.
with a 2.5-year-old little girl named Livia.
Kind of beat the odds in this day and age.
that was such a blessing for us that we were able to have Livia.
After all, what good is telling you a story like this if it doesn't end with happily ever after?
Just be honest with the person that you're in the relationship with and know that that's what's important.
Russell Haythorne, Denver 7.
Okay, it's your turn. We really want to hear your thoughts on office romance. You can either email us 360@thedenverchannel.com is the address, or you can join a very lively conversation that's going on right now on the Denver 7 Facebook and Twitter pages.